Well, hello, this is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor here at Sampson Properties, to give you a sneak peek in the behind the scenes and how our education department and our training videos are all set up. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. First off, we do want to thank Cardinal Title. Cardinal is the engine that runs the whole show. Anything and everything that you get to enjoy as an agent, you can thank Cardinal for. So we always want to give a shout out to our Cardinal Title, and we are going to encourage you whenever you have an opportunity, we would hope that you would use Cardinal Title, earn their business, and let them treat you with a royalty. So there you go. That's why we love our Cardinal Title. They do an excellent job, and we definitely want to support them because they are supporting you. Okay? All righty. So let's talk about how Sampson has put together the pieces of the puzzle of the education department. I have my little props here. So most brokerages go, oh, we have some really good classes, and here's one of them, and here's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one, and you need to go to this class. Oops, didn't fly that one very far. And then, oh, by the way, here's all the other classes that we've got. And you as an agent are sitting there going, okay, well, that's great and that's wonderful, but which one do I go to first? Where do I start? Because you've got all these puzzle pieces and have no clue as to where to start. Not a problem. We got you. After training several thousand agents and realize that most are running around like a chicken with their head cut off, not knowing what to put together first, we have taken care of that problem for you. Here at Sampson, we have put together the learning trails. So we're going to walk you through methodically how to leverage and take advantage of the whole education department here at Sampson. Okay? So let me start by asking you a question. What would your business look like if you committed 18 minutes a day to mastering and developing your skills? What would your business look like in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days? Trust me, it'll not be the same as it is right now. So let's go ahead. The next thing, can we chat? Come here. Come here. Come on. You and me, we're going to have a chat. I want you to understand that the responsibility that the clients are putting on your shoulders is enormous. You, as an agent in this industry, have the ability to bankrupt a client. I've seen it done. You have the ability to financially ruin somebody. I've seen it done. How would you like it if you were the consumer, your agent did something, didn't guide you correctly, and when you got done with the transaction, you found out you owed $30,000 in taxes? The agent's response was, and it wasn't one of ours, by the way, it was, oh, well, I didn't know about that. They're going to have to pay taxes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Excuse me? We're talking here, okay? I want to make sure that you understand the responsibility and the weight that you carry on your shoulders as a real estate agent. And I don't care if you do one transaction a year, 101 transactions a year, or anything above or below that. You, as an agent, have the same fiduciary responsibility to the consumer to guide them and point them in the right direction in a real estate transaction. So don't ever use the excuse, oh, I'm dual career, I didn't know. I'm just part-time, I didn't know. Think about the responsibility that you carry on your shoulders. Head up, shoulders back. Be proud of it. Master your skills, master your craft, and enjoy the benefits that this industry can provide. But don't cut yourself short. Okay? All right, so let's talk about the fact that I want to remind you that real estate is a business. It's not a hobby. I know some of you treat it as a hobby, but it's not. So first thing we want to share with you about the education department is where you can find any and all educational videos. Right now, as of today, they're all in Cardinal Nest under Sampson University. Anything and everything is there. Remember all these pieces? they're all there for you. So hopefully you can go enjoy them. But let's go ahead and map out a strategy. If you're needing to find it, our current dashboard looks like this. I like to go to quick links, drop down to Samson University, and that's what it's going to look like. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Scroll down. Once you scroll down, if you're looking for any of my classes, they're right there on my own channel. Ta-da! There it is. So when you click on there, you find the class you want to listen to or study. And when you do, the video will come up at the top. The check mark of when you've completed each section will show up there on the right side of the screen, but scroll down. Every single video that we have done or I have done always, always, always has a handout to go with it. So make sure that you pull that handout, and I encourage you to put it in a 3-ring binder so you're creating out your own customized training manual. All right? The best way to go through it is to stop after you've listened to a segment and do the task that's being added. Boom. That is how you leverage and get maximum results out of any of our training components. Okay? All right, so the next thing is I want to share with you is I've done a little something. See, this non-techie gal figured out a long time ago how to add on custom tabs to her website. So I have developed out a tab, Agent Resource Center, for you. So because if I'm teaching or I'm traveling, I'm not responding to emails. So I created this tab of the common questions that get asked, the how-tos. So I want you to go check it out when you've got a minute. Now, what you're also going to find on there is the Listen and Learn channel, which I record, not fancy smancy, the Zoom meetings from the Thursday meetings I do. They are downloaded there for you. Now, there's 2 reasons I've done this. First, I wanted to make sure that you guys had a quick and easy access to additional stuff before or even if it's still on Cardinal Nest in Samson University or anyplace else for you. The other reason I did this, I wanted you to see what could be done with your website. My website here is no different than the same website platform that you all have available to you through Bold Trails. I had ulterior motive there. As I want to be the go-to source or the backup go-to source for you guys to get quick access to stuff, it's the same logic that we teach you how to leverage your website, add custom tabs to it, add drop-down pages to it, and let it, your website, let it be the go-to source for your clients as well. There you go. And again, if this non-techie can do it, we can walk you through and have you do it as well. But when you get a chance, go check it out, know what's on there, and enjoy. All right, so we also have 2 extra components for you. Every Thursday, I do 2 sessions. One is at 1 o'clock, and one is at 2:30. They are different topics every week. The 1 o'clock session is called Learning Trails, and it's kind of a Q&A session. I take a class from our library that we've already done in full, and I take a deeper dive into it. The 2:30 class is called Master Your Marketing. There, we're going to take from our Jumpstart Session 4, where we talk about the marketing department within your business, we take a deep dive into all 24 options of pillars that you can map out. Now, if you know me, you know I ain't going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you what works, what doesn't, why, how come, how long is it going to take you to build it out, what are the do's and don'ts of it, what it's going to cost, and make sure that you're moving on a productive, effective, and efficient track, okay? Another thing I want to bring your attention to is if you're emailing me back and forth, I have a couple of extra links on my signature line. Why? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting you the bonus information of, do you need me to tuck you under my wing? Are you looking for some extra TLC and help? I've got a link right there. It's my VIP team I put together of agents. You can specify to me, do you want to hear from me weekly, monthly, or never, leave me alone. I'm good. I'm good with either one. So that is usually a link on my email signature as well. But what this does is it lets you see what you can do with your email signature line as well. Okay? All right, so moving right along. We also have a Monday morning 10:30 boost. If you need the kick in the seat, it's about a 30-minute check-in. Usually got some words of wisdom for you, share a couple little tidbits with you, and get you motivated and up and going for the week. All right, so those are some things you should put on your calendar, set them to repeat. The link for all of them, it's a Zoom meeting, is on the Cardinal Nest on the calendar. There you go. All right, so here's a couple of suggestions when you're taking any of my classes. First off, we encourage you to obviously print out the handout. There is a handout for every session. The handout is designed to be your checklist and your worksheet. So make sure you've got it. I would encourage you to put it in a 3-ring binder. That way you can track it, monitor. If you're wanting to meet with me, your broker, your mentor, your anybody, more than likely we're going to ask you to bring your binder with you. We need to see what you've gotten done, where you're stubbing your toe, and can make our time together more effective and more efficient. So there you go. Those are the tips for that. Now, there are some classroom rules, whether you're watching online or whether you're in person. Let me go through them real quick. Phone needs to be off because if it rings, I'm going to answer it, and you do not want that happening. I'm going to ask you to be open to some new ideas. I'm going to ask, as always, your permission. May I have your permission to be blunt and honest with you, tell you what you need to know and not always what you want to hear. If you're okay with that, give me a thumbs up and we're good to go. I'm going to ask you to hear my heart and sometimes forgive my mouth. Usually I will warn you if something is getting ready to slip out, and I will give you a heads up that it's coming, that you have already given me permission to be blunt and honest with you, and you said you'd hear my heart, forgive my mouth, we're good, it's coming out. You do have to laugh at my stupid jokes, whether you're live or whether you're watching these on video, you still have to laugh because I can hear you. There you go. Main thing is I want you to learn something new. I want you to have those aha moments. And I want you more than anything is to implement what you're learning. Whether it's my stuff or anybody else's that you're taking a class or listening to, it is not just listening to it. Until you stop and do the task is then when it all comes together. Okay? All right, so in the to-do component, we've added the little puzzle piece because, you know, we've got our little puzzle pieces here. And on the handouts and the worksheets, we have the little puzzle piece that says to-do. That is obviously your cue to stop and to go ahead and do that task. This way, we are building out and building the foundation of your business. If you think about Jumpstart specifically, there are four corners to the puzzle. If you're going to put together a puzzle, the first thing you're going to do is go through and find your corner pieces. Then you're going to find all the pieces with the edge, and that's where you start building your puzzle. That is how you need to start building out your business, and that is what Jumpstart does. Jumpstart sessions 1 and 2 is Business 101. After thousands and thousands of agents that I have trained, I have gotten so disheartened by seeing agents come in the front door and out the back because they didn't know where to start. And they had all this training but had no clue. So that is why we put this together all methodically for you. Make sure you got the handouts, listen, then you're going to stop, you're going to do the task, and then you're going to move on. That is going to give you the foundation so that we can help you build whatever level of business you want. So, what is covered in Jumpstart? Real quick, Jumpstart Session 1 gives you, I should have remembered, I counted them up a few minutes ago, a bunch of 28 of them, I think. Tips and ideas of putting together the foundational pieces of your real estate business. Again, we cannot put a roof on the house until the foundation, the walls, and everything's done, then the roof goes on. Same thing with your business. You do not start by ordering business cards. Jumpstart Session 1, you'll learn why. But I get you all prepped so when you do order your business cards, you're ready to order a really good business card. I'll show you some samples of some, not so good, and a few, those are really pretty good. So Jumpstart Session 1 is about that. Jumpstart 2 is about the additional pieces of the puzzle for the foundation of your business, and it goes into slightly about mindset. Too many agents have gone out the back door of this business because they had the worst case of stinky thinking God ever gave them. So we want to make sure that you are prepped and ready and can handle whatever comes at you. Jumpstart Session 3 is all about your database. That is a gold mine that you are sitting on. I'm going to make sure you know how to organize it, sort it, categorize it, label it, tag it, hashtag it, and leverage that puppy and cry all the way to the bank. There you go. Jumpstart Session 4 is all about the marketing department of your business. I'm amazed how many agents really do not know how to market. I'm going to make sure that you are given everything I can give you of my 20 years in sales and marketing and 20 years in real estate of what works, what doesn't, and why. There you go. So now you've got a foundation in which to really build on. So you've finished your Jumpstart Sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4, in order, by the way, and then you say, okay, what comes next? From there, our full library in Samson University is a full smorgasbord, if you will, of all the classes that you need to support whatever track you're wanting. If you've got through Jumpstart Session 4, you figured out which marketing pillars you want. We've got classes zeroed in and specific for those. You just don't go in and start jumping around from one class to another, because it's not going to pay off. And yes, I do have to pick these puzzle pieces up when I'm done. So we want to put them all together step by step for you. So hang with us, we'll walk you through it. All right, again, reminder, the best way to digest this and all of the sessions is listen per section, stop, and here's the key questions you need to ask yourself. 1, did I know that? 2, am I doing that? 3, how well am I doing that? And 4, can I do it any better? If you can give yourself a 5 out of a scale of 1 to 5 on whatever topic we're talking about, rock star, keep going, go on to the next. But if you're not, and again, it doesn't matter if you're a new agent, new to Samson, a seasoned agent who's been around for a long time, there are still pieces of the puzzle that you're missing, and we're going to make sure you've got the foundation built in. When I have agents that have come to Jumpstart Session and have gone through all 4 sessions, got to Session 4 and we got done, they went, oh my God, I've been in the business 20, 25, 30 years. I never knew that. I was never taught that. I never knew it that way. Where have you been all my life? Then I know that we all, regardless of how long we've been in the business and how good we are, we have missing pieces to our puzzle. We're going to make sure you've got them all together. Okay? So within the Samson family, we also have a phenomenal toolbox for you. We've got sales meetings, we've got mindset, we've got Tuesday tidbits, we've got learning trails, we've got master your marketing, we've got coffee with Casey, we've got weekend updates, we've got market trends, we've got HQDU. Wait, I'm not done. And there's more ongoing training through Zoom, all over the calendar, all over our footprint, and everything's available for you on demand. So don't ever tell me you couldn't make it in this business, because there you go. We got you covered. All right. So in closing, let me just say, I don't care what you know. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't care what you know. I want to know what you are doing with what you know. That is where the success comes from. So there you have it. That is how to best use the Samson Education Department and the learning trails and the everything that we've got for you, kind of in a nutshell. So with that, I'm going to hush up so you can be done with this segment and get ready to jump right in and enjoy your learning. I'll see you in class. Welcome back. This is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor at Samson Properties, bringing you the Jumpstart Session 4. This is about marketing your business and starting to select your 4 pillars for the marketing department of your business. Okay? Let's go. You know my cardinal? because we want to thank them. We're going to scoot right past that. Your words of wisdom to kick off this section. There is simply no shortcut to the road in real estate success. You must do the work. But there's also no speed limit. You can go as fast as you want. And if you want to keep up with me, it's pedal to the metal. Okay? The only time that success comes before work is in the dictionary. I looked it up. It's the only place it's going to show up. So we want to make sure that you are putting in the work. Again, let's talk about the 18 minutes. If you were to devote 18 minutes to your business for specific tasks, what would your business look like in a short period of time? Trust me, it will blow you away. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this section because we got a lot to cover. Deep breath. Let's take a look. There is a difference between working on your business and in your business. There are 4 hats that you need to wear as the owner of your real estate firm. This is falling into the category of working on your business. The first hat is that of marketing and advertising. I have a specialty and a background in marketing and advertising, and I have paid a fortune for some of the training I've gone to. And I am more than happy to pass it on to you at no charge. Now, if you want to pay me, you can, but that doesn't work that way. Thank Cardinal. Yeah, use Cardinal. That's who they. Okay, that's the biggest payback. If nothing else, I want to make sure that the agents under my wing understand and have the best advice and guidance for marketing and advertising. Somebody else can teach you to do contracts. Somebody else can teach you to some of the other components. But if I can teach you how to best market and advertise yourself, there is no stopping you. Again, you've given me permission to be blunt and honest. You've given me permission to hear my heart, forgive my mouth. When we go through these, my Thursday Zoom classes, no holds barred. No holds barred. You're going to get it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the first hat that we're going to need you to wear is that of the marketing and advertising director for your business. In that hat, or when you have that hat on, or when you have that time blocked on your calendar, you will be determining and talking about your 4 marketing systems. That's coming up next. That is time that you take to do your mailings, your notes, your newsletters, your postcards. That is the time that you get personal notes out and ready and birthday cards ready. Also, when you have the marketing and advertising hat on, you are getting the message out and the value that you have. That falls under your marketing hat. Then you will change hats. Jesse, you'd look really cute in this one. A little pink and lime green. You will manage your schedule. You will manage your office space, your finances, your website, Facebook posts. You are managing by making sure that your buyer and seller consultations are to perfection and are ready to go at a moment's notice. You are also going to be managing your business by blocking off time every week to make sure that you are learning something new. Is it something in the MLS that you need to learn to do? Is it something on Skyslope or Bull Trails or Lofty or whatever tech platform you're using? Do you know how to use those tools? I've given you the list of tools in the previous session. It is when you are managing your business that you will review, read, and learn your contracts and disclosures. Okay? This is far from a contracts class. I am not going to pretend to be the expert on all 50 states of the contracts. But here is how you best master them. Print them out for whatever area you're in. Put them in a 3-ring binder. Buyer side, seller side. Read a paragraph a day. 1 paragraph. Remember, 1 a day, not the whole bottle. Read the paragraph and then ask yourself, if a seller were to ask me what that means, what would I say? If a buyer were to ask me what that paragraph means, what would I say? We take a look at a contract that's 12, 15 pages, whatever it is in your footprint, and we go into panic. New agents especially. Here is how I want you to take a deep breath and tackle them. One paragraph at a time. Remember that every paragraph is in that contract because somebody sued somebody. You ever want to have a good giggle or a good drinking game? Try to figure out who sued who over what that paragraph required to be in there. There you go. All right. It is when you are managing your business that you will also look at the calendar and you will make sure that any new classes that are being offered are on your calendar for the month. You will already have Boost on there. You will already have the Thursday 2 Zoom meetings on there. You will take a look at anything else that you're needing to master and perfect and block it in. Because if it's not on your calendar and if it's not blocked off, I'm sorry, it ain't happening. Because you know somebody's got a sale somewhere and you got to run. How many hours, again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. How many hours a week are you willing to commit to working on your business? These last 2 slides tell you exactly the things that need to be being done to work on your business. We good? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up popping. All right, now let's talk about working in your business. Working in your business, you're going to need to have a real estate license. So these are things that necessarily an admin cannot do. You will be their consultant, which means you're face-to-face with them. You're going to serve as their advocate, building a referral source, networking, building out your service providers so that you can be the go-to source for that consumer. Okay. You will serve as their advocate, their consultant, their PPS. In fact, that used to be on my business card. I am your advocate, your consultant, and your PPS. I had it on everything. Name badge, even if it was upside down, business cards, anything I had was my name serving as your advocate, your consultant, and your PPS. Now, PPS created a great, what's that? Oh, I'm your professional problem solver. That's what I do. Again, you talk about leverage. You talk about creating talking points. You wonder what to say. Right there. That's a good one. All right? Now, the next hat that you will put on is that of the realtor. That is when you are actually hands-on and deep diving into the contracts, disclosures, previewing homes, showing homes, taking listings, writing contracts, working on transactions, closing transactions, and best part of all, getting paid. Okay? But let's look back at that list. You cannot do the last part until the other parts are being done and being done consistently. Okay? Unless you are working on your business consistently, and again, I don't care if it's only 5 hours a week. Until that is being worked consistently and you've proven your value and have brought value to them, that's when you get to jump down to the end and cry all the way to the bank. Okay? Again, transactions do not fall from the sky because we know what happens when that does. They land on the witch and out they're going. All right? Deep breath. Let's keep going. Here is a pro tip for you. Marketing versus advertising. There are 2 components, but they do work together. Let's break them down. It's in your handout on page 3. Marketing a property is researching, identifying the target market, the potential buyer for that property, the pricing, and the strategy for selling it. What I used to always tell my clients is I will do some research. I will determine where the buyer pool for your property is going to come from. Because a $30,000 mobile home is going to be a whole lot different from the $1.3 million on top of the hill. Okay? I analyze each of my listings to make sure I've identified where the buying pool is for your property. That's a great takeaway line. Because again, you've just sold your value. They know it's not a cookie cutter. It may be similar, but it's not always a cookie cutter. Advertising a property is all about getting the property in front of a large audience. That's advertising. At the MLS, good photos, online. If it's a multi-million-dollar property, you may decide to buy an ad in one of the high-end magazines. Newspapers. I mean, that is all about advertising a property and making sure that it is out in front of as many people as possible. All right? Now, let's talk about marketing yourself. Marketing yourself, you will do some research and determine the pillars that you want to market within. That's coming up here in about 30 seconds. Advertising yourself is about getting your name, your brand, your logo, your color palette, whatever, in front of a larger audience. How are you going to do that? There's lots of options, but we need to talk about it. If you don't have enough business, we need to make sure that we've got your pillars, bullseye, identified, and then how do we advertise them and how do we market yourself? We good? Say yes. You online? Say good. All right, we're moving on, okay? They both go hand in hand. They need to be both done. So the hats all go hand in hand with your daily to-do tasks. Refer back to Jumpstart Session 2 because that's where that was given to you, okay? You see where those pieces are now starting to come together some even more because they all go hand in hand, all right? Let's keep going. Let me ask you a question. And if you look at the screen, I give you the answer. Does the market change, yes or no? Can you control the market? Can you adjust to a changing market? Yes. All right. Good call. Let me ask you a question. How many legs are on the chair that you're currently sitting on? How many tires are on the car that are out in the parking lot? And don't tell me you came in on a motorcycle or an 18-wheeler. Okay, 4. Why is 4 the common number? What does it provide? Stability and balance. All right. Can you get to where you need to go with a flat tire? Yeah, you can. You're going to go really slow, but you can get there. Okay. In any market, people will move when the home no longer meets their needs. Drop the mic, I'm going home. Let me ask you a question. What are the 5 things that happen in a person's life that changes the need? I didn't say the want, but changes the need for where they're going to live. Does a new job or career path can change the need? Because if you're offered a $1.2 million a year job in Austin, Texas, you are out of here. Okay? You're going to call me, say the key's under the doormat, get rid of the house. I'm gone. All right? Family status or change. That can certainly change. A divorce. That definitely. Okay? Job retirement. That can change as well. Change where you want to live. And death can also change. Now, little plug. This is where I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Todd Bates, went to a seminar with him years ago. I was saddened to find out that Tom had passed away a couple years ago because I was going to track him down because I wanted to reconnect with him and found out he was gone. Yes, it made me sad. But what he taught me lives on, and I get to pass it on to you. This was what was called recession-proof marketing. When you are able to identify, and again, this was not just for real estate agents. I was one of maybe 5 real estate agents, and everybody else was from all different brands. When you are able to look at the product or service that you provide and ask yourself, what are the things that will happen that will cause them to need to move or to buy or to sell or whatever, that is recession-proof. That's what this is. All right? Here's another way to look at it. The 5 Ds. Diploma, diamonds, diapers, divorce, and death. Okay? Do these things happen every day? Do they happen every week? Do they happen every month? Do they happen every year? Do they happen regardless of what the world is doing? There you go, gang. That is recession-proof. Because when the home no longer meets their needs is when they'll go, I need to sell, or I need to buy something different. Okay? So how does that apply? When we talk about what are the options of your pillars, if you are smart enough to tap into one or two of those recession-proof topics, your business will continue to survive. Who remembers way back when the market went like this? Who remembers when the market came crashing down? Who remembers the crash? Raise of hands. And none of you could call me and tell me the market crashed? I totally missed it, which was good because I had my daughter in college paying tuition at the time. But why didn't I feel the crash? Thank you, Todd. I had taken not one, but two of the recession-proof targets, built them in to my business as one of my 4 pillars, and I never felt the crash like everybody else did. If I can help you understand that and develop that and build that out, I have done my job. Okay? Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Because if you trip and fall or if that basket breaks loose and falls out, you got nothing. And when a market shifts, which it will, you don't get to control it, but when it shifts and you got all your eggs in one basket, you're in meltdown and panic. That's not where I want you. Okay? So, you can refer to them as the tires, the pillars, the legs. I don't care. They're the 4 posts that will hold up the marketing department of your business, allowing a little bit to come from here, 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 and now you've got them all dripping in. If one dries up and goes flat, then you can change it out. Case in point, years ago when agents were doing REOs and short sales, that's all they had. Many of them, that's all they did. I never did them. I hated them. And I didn't need to because I had my other pillars up and going. But when that fell through, I cannot tell you how many times I got cried on and slobbered on my shoulders because the agent was in meltdown. They knew nothing else but then the short sales and the REOs, and that market dried up. So this is why I encourage you to have the 4 pillars, the 4 tires, the 4 posts, the 4 legs, whatever you want to call them. So let's take a look at what they might be. You have 5 types of buyers, 6 types of sellers, and 13 other options or specialties. That comes up to 24 total pillars. You only need 4. I take that back. You only need 3 because one's always going to be your database. Okay? Let's talk about this. 5 types of buyers, and this should be in your handout for you. There are first-time home buyers. There are move-up buyers. There are dream home or trophy buyers. There's downsizing buyers, and there's investors. On the other side, there are 6 types of sellers. There's move up, move down. They'll sell because there's a death. They'll sell because there's a divorce. They'll sell because of job relocation or retirement. And they will sell because they're a flipper or investor. Now, sometimes in certain market types, we used to say this isn't a perfect flipping market. You can take that any way you want. Okay. At times it was, at times it wasn't. All right, what are the additional pillars that you can pick from? For sale by owners. A couple years ago, I paid, there was a comma in the price tag of the class I took. I now hand that over to you. The best takeaway from it, I hand it over to you on a silver platter. You want to do it for sale by owners? I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to do it right. If that is of an interest to you, let me know, because we need to research your area to make sure that there's enough in there that can be one of your legs. All right? Excuse me. Notice the default, foreclosures, and short sales. They kind of go one after the other. They'll get a notice of default. It'll go into a foreclosure, and often, not always, it could be a short sale. You want to do that? You make sure you know how to do it correctly. You do not mail somebody or call someone and say, hey, I hear you're in default. I hear you're about ready to lose your house. Nah. Okay. Investors. Sometimes I hear agents say, well, I want to work with investors. Okay, well, you and 50 million other agents, so what are you going to offer that's different and unique? Now, if you have a strong database, have you ever offered to your SOI them to consider an investment property at a starting price point that could be a rental or an Airbnb, depending on zoning, in your area? It's like a cricket in here right now, so I'm going to take that as a no. Okay? I got a yes. All right? We're missing the mark on that one a lot. All right? Absentee owners. You can find absentee owners. In your search of your geofarm, you look for the ones that says owner occupied. No. Those are your absentee owners. I will tell you, if you're wanting to do absentee owners, we already have it all mapped out. I teach you how to go, what to send to them, how often, the right message to the right target, what not to say, and why. You do not send them a picture of their yard and say, did you know your yard looked like... Okay? There's a way to approach it. Also, if you are going to work absentee owners, you better know enough about a 1031 exchange that you can advise them that they need to get some legal advice. Remember I told you earlier that you have the responsibility on your shoulders that you could cost a client several $1,000s? That was exactly where that one came from. Sold a second property, didn't do the proper guidelines, didn't do the proper disclosures, and ended up costing the seller $30,000 to the IRS. He was PO'd. Came back at the agent and they said, well, I didn't know about that. Not my job. Well, he's going to have to pay taxes anyway at some point. Don't make me come after you. Okay. So if you're going to do absentee owners, you better know a teeny beeny bit about 1031 so that you can advise them to investigate that correctly. All right, expired listings. Yes, you can go after expired listings, but do not be an ambulance chaser. Y'all know what I mean about that. And frankly, if you're going to do it, I would not go after a Samson Colleagues listing. That's just my personal. Okay, you've got to understand there are several reasons why the listing may have expired. And do not ever come after them and say, well, you had a bad agent. Because you don't necessarily know that. Now, that could have been an option. More than likely not. More than likely, it was an unrealistic seller that wanted to list their beater-upper at $1.2 million when the CMAs only showed it for $435. All right? This is why we drink. Okay. You want to do geofarming? Okay, I've got a full class on geofarming. I want to know the numbers. I walk you through in the geofarming class what to look at, what numbers to run. I want to know that there's enough turnover in there for you to invest your time, money, and energy. And if you're going to do any of these things, we also get into the nitty-gritty of how long it's going to take you to consistently feed and nurture that area until you can start seeing results. Gang, it is not a one and done. You cannot throw Jell-O on the wall and hope it sticks. Okay? You want to commit to it or be committed. I don't care. We'll help you either way. But if you want to commit to a particular target or piece, that's fine. But let's make sure you know what you're walking into. Okay? And we've already got the training components up for you. Open houses. Open houses can be a double-edged sword. There are some places that do really well open houses. There are others that don't. There's others that, the frustration of is that buyer coming in and even telling you the truth? Probably not. All right? Social media. You can do social media. People have a love-hate relationship with social media. But there's, again, I'm going to give credit back, that one class that's online through Steve. That's in our dashboard or in our resources. He had some great tips on social media. Okay. I'm going to throw TikTok in there. Don't throw apples at me, okay, because I'll duck. I know a lot of people, for various reasons, have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. You hear it about on the news right now. Here's my thing with TikTok. You could spend forever and a lifetime doing these cute little videos and these real estate things. You could have 1 million followers or not a one of them in the United States. And certainly not a one of them in your footprint. So I know other agents that are doing TikTok and other social media stuff that are doing great. Again, there is a right and a wrong way to do everything. So we want to make sure that you know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, why to do it, what not to do, and why. All right? Home buyer seminars. Oh my God, yes. I mastered those. I did those for years and absolutely loved it. Again, if you're thinking, ooh, first-time home buyers, I'd love that. That is an option. Let's get you properly trained on first-time home buyers, how to do a home buyer seminar, how to do them live, how to do them Zoom. What are the promos you can put out there? What are the reports that you need to have? We've already got it. We've already got it. But again, it's not a one and done. Now, I will tell you, about a year ago, year and a half ago, I had a whole group going through learning to do their home buyer workshops. One of the agents did all of her marketing. She did everything right, spot on. She had 30 RSVPs. She goes, Lynn, the room only holds 30. What do I do? And I said, go ahead and let 35 to 40 RSVP because some of them aren't going to show up. Okay? And as we were standing there, she goes, oh my God, I just got 3 more that RSVP'd. I said, well, okay, then you only have space for a few more. Okay? About 20 showed up. Got a couple of them up and going. Next month, she says, Lynn, I don't have anybody that's RSVP'd. What do I do? And I said, you still show up. Because as we know, not everybody that RSVPs shows up, and not everybody that shows up has RSVP'd. Okay? So she shows up, 12 showed up. She's done and completed transactions, I think, with 3 of them now. No RSVPs. Okay? Again, not a one and done. It needs to be consistent. They need to know it's the second Saturday of every month, whatever time you pick. All right? Consistency will make you or break you. All right. Relocation expert. You and about 50 million others want to be relocation experts. Just because you got the credentials doesn't mean that you will be the best there is. Just my opinion, take it or leave it. The ones that are going to be the best, mentioning no names, are the ones who have walked the walk and can talk the talk. Been there, done that. They know firsthand the pros and cons, the problems, the tips, the techniques. If that is something that you're wanting to specialize in, we're going to make sure that you have a mini book of tips, techniques, and personal experiences that can build that out. You've got a story to tell that I can't even touch with a 10-foot pole. I've not done it. So I could get the credentials, but I don't have the boots on the ground, hands-on experience to do it, like some other people I know. Mentioning no names. You know who you are. Okay? So if you are wanting to go down one of those specialties, let's make sure we got you. All right? We got some tools that we can help you with to build that out, because I want to see you run. I want to see you shine. All right. Part of your homework is to figure out which of the pillars hits your hot button. But on all of those pillars, what is the common denominator? When the home no longer meets their needs, they're going to need to sell or buy. All right? So part of your homework is to take a look at all of those. I want you to take a few minutes to block off to say, okay, what excites me? What can I commit to? Let me do a little more research on it. A geofarming, I don't know. Let me listen to the geofarming class. Can I run those numbers? Can I commit to what needs to be done to make it happen and pay off? If not, is there another option? That is a decision you need to make. I can't make it for you. You need to figure out what ignites you, what hits your hot button, and what you would enjoy doing. So, your homework, page 5 of your handout, is you start with your database. Then what are the other 3 pillars that you need to build out that you want to have as part of your marketing strategy, your marketing plan? Let me give you an overview of some of the extra tips of putting that together as we wind down. This is Marketing 101, determining a powerful marketing message. And no, I'll do a good job for you is not one. All right? So you want to ask, whatever you've done, step back and say, is that a wow or a duh? Is the person reading it going to go, wow, or duh? Case in point. I'll list your home and do a great job for you. Well, duh. Versus, when I list your home, I customize a marketing strategy based off your price point and your location. I have a 42-point marketing strategy that goes into place. Wow or duh? There you go. I said the same thing. A few more words, but I got the message crossed. All right? What is the problem that they have that you are able to resolve? What is their pain point? For those that want to do move down sellers, do you love your house, but your knees are starting to hate those stairs? Okay? Direct question. That's the wow. That's the identifying the pain point they have. If you want to do move up, are you wall to wall and busting out the seams? You need a bigger place? Are your 27 kids tired of having one room? Okay? We can help. All right? You're all laughing. Who's got 27 kids? I'm not going to ask. Very much. So the question that I ask is, can you get to where you need to go with a flat tire? So if one of those avenues starts to fall apart, can you readjust? Absolutely. It's okay to change a flat. So I always like to ask this question because it drives me crazy when I get the answers. Where did you think your business was going to come from when you started in real estate? And this is why I drink. Okay. As they're all giggling and choking and coughing. All right, so it's a good question to ask. Where did you think it was going to come from? Newsflash. It doesn't fall from the sky. Because we all know what happens when houses fall from the sky. Watch The Wizard of Oz. All right, here's changing hats just a little bit. Pro tip, giving out your business card. When you hand a business card to someone, you need to realize that in some cultures, it is an honor to be presented a business card. You take a look when you go shopping someplace or get your nails done or some of the other things, take a look at how they present you back your credit card. It's a sign of respect and a sign of honor and thanks. You need to learn to hand out your business cards with the same amount of honor and integrity. You don't just hand it to them, because I'll put my gum in it. All right? When you hand it to them, you hang on to it for a second. Don't let go. Now, it's not a tug of war, but they know that you've got some pressure on it. And what you want to say when you hand out that card is, the reason I'm giving you my card is because someday you or someone you know is going to need some help with something real estate related. When that day comes, you've got my card. Do not make your card gum-worthy. Now, frankly, this is why in Jumpstart Session 1, we gave you the recommendations of what needs to go on your business cards and what it needs to be done. We had a few giggles over some mistakes that have been made. It is only at that time that you've got all those things in place, do you order a business card. In the meantime, I can't tell you how many agents have thrown away business cards because they were wrong or it. Don't even waste your money. I would rather you learn how to pull out the newsletter, the one page grab and go, pop by press. I would rather have most of you give out your newsletter than a business card any day of the week. Once you've got your newsletter with you, who's ever gone to a restaurant? Everybody's hands are popping up. Did you have a human being serve you? Did you leave them a newsletter when you left? Okay, tell you a cute story. A couple years ago, yeah. Okay, a couple years ago, I went out with a group after some training we did. We left, and I walked out. I got to the parking lot, and I turned around and said, "All of you were fired." They all went, "What?" I said, "There were 6 of you. Did any of you leave a business card? Did any of you leave a newsletter? There was a bulletin board as we walked out the back door. Did any of you stop and put your business card or your newsletter on that bulletin board?" Now, I know a few of them had newsletters in their car. They scurried like, when you turn a light on, okay? They turned around and bolted. They went back in. One posted on her newsletter on the bulletin board, came out, was talking to the person that was dumping the trash and the other person that was with them. Ended up their aunt needed to buy. That's where she got that client from. Go fig. Bloom where you planted. All right. So utilize those things. Stop and think about where can I leave them. There you go. Again, I would rather have most of you hand out a newsletter than a business card any day of the week. So learn how to retrieve those and get those out. Pros and cons on electronic business cards. Yeah, I've got one. It's somewhere. God only knows where. Okay. Most of the time, it's great from agent to agent, but it goes into their phone and they don't remember who you are. And they're like, who is this person? All right. Business card has a little bit better weight. Newsletter is even better. All right. Pros and cons on that. All right. Let's breathe. Move on to the next. We're going to run out of time, but we're going to do this. All right. Buy lunch, not leads. Can we meet? It is a great technique that a lot of people teach. I know even Sarah's talked about doing it various times. Here's the general rule of thumb. I would rather have you out to coffee with somebody than taking an hour to 2 hours in writing a newsletter or writing a blog post. Your best time is face-to-face with another human being, particularly one that's alive and that could potentially buy. That's a whole other topic. No, we'll get into that later, okay? But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are generally the best time to meet someone for lunch. It could be lunch. It could be breakfast. It could be a soda. It could be coffee. It could be tea. It could be hot cocoa. It could be whatever, all right? Are there books a million up this direction? Is that a yes? Yeah, okay. They have the best raspberry, white chocolate, hot cocoa on the planet. I'm just saying. I'll meet you there. All right? So, keywords. Once you have met them, some keywords are highlighted in the conversation point on your handout. The beauty of that is that comes directly from, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due, that was a Joe Stump by referral only technique. When I learned it and started using it, it was an absolute game changer. I'm going to absolutely encourage you. I would get down on my knees and beg if I could get back up ladylike, but that ain't going to happen. All right. Encourage you to utilize that and to see the highlighted bullet points and why. One of the things that Joe was so good at was neurolinguistics, the power of the word, its placement in a sentence, its highlight, it's anything else. Okay? This is where this technique comes in extremely valuable for you, and it's not that difficult to learn. So I would encourage you to master that one. Once you get to the end of the conversation, as you can see in your handout, it asks something to the effect of, can I ask you a question? The next time you come across someone who needs to buy or sell or could use my services, are you comfortable introducing them to me? Are you comfortable introducing them to me? That way I can interview with them so I can make sure we're a good match. That takes the pressure off the referral because they believe you're going to go after their friend's jugular. By saying, are you comfortable in introducing us so that I can have the opportunity to interview with them to see if I'm a good match for them? Drop the mic, I'm going home. That is going to be a great takeaway for you to have and master. It will be a game changer for you, okay? When you are done with that lunch, tea, coffee, whatever it is you have had, you will write them, hopefully if you have their address, a handwritten note. It was great to see you. Enjoyed spending that time with you. I'll look forward to doing it again. That's all you need to say. Now, you can text it. Okay, fine, it's deleted in 2 seconds. You can email it. They'll read it in 2 weeks when they check their emails. You write a handwritten note to go to their home. Oh my God, you will show up at their house 9 months later and it's still going to be on their refrigerator. Okay? There is power to the good old-fashioned handwritten note. Anytime you have a chance to do it, do it. And yes, I'll confess, I occasionally get handwritten notes after classes, get mailed to the office. I still have them. They mean the world. And we're so digital and digitized and electronic-based, there's just a heartwarming that comes from a handwritten something. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on to the next section. All right, what your homework assignment is to write down a list of 10 people that you think you can meet up with for lunch. Okay, lunch, whatever, coffee, whatever. Call or text them and set up the meeting. You should be able to make that list in about a minute and a half. Allow yourself a few minutes to look at your calendar and say, okay, when can I squeeze them in? Okay, Denise, do we want to get together on Tuesday or Wednesday, which is better for you, but this time or this time? You give them options. You give them 2 options that works for you. You do not leave it open that says, when you want to meet? Because they're going to go Wednesday at 10 and you go, oh, I have a sales meeting. No, you give them the options that are available for you. Just like the kids. Do you want the blue shirt or the green shirt? You don't care which one they wear, but they get to pick. Same concept. Okay, give them options. When you realize that your job is marketing, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to a restaurant? Yes. And they came around and said, would you like more to drink? And you say no. They didn't run off crying because they realized it meant no, not now. You're going to get told no in this business. No, I'm not interested. No, I'm not available. It's okay. No is not the death of it. It's just no, not now. So don't be afraid to hear the no. All right, we got a lot to cover in the next 2 minutes, so bear with me. Once you have determined your 4 marketing pillars, here's where I'm going to ask you to do. You're going to take the next 30 days or less to work on your pillar number 1, which is your database. Don't worry about the other pillars. Laser focused on getting that database up, sorted, organized, categorized, whatever you need to do. Then you're going to stop and ask yourself, what task do I need to do? That's going to come up right after this. Then, once that is all done, the next few days, or the next 30 days after that, you're going to take a look at pillar number 2. What is the second pillar you want to get mastered and put into place? You will work on that and that one only. Once that is completed, you will then start working on the 3rd pillar. Once that is mapped out and completed, you will work on the 4th pillar. You will now have it planned out and organized, and you know what you want to do. On the next several pages in your handout, the questions that you're going to map out the strategies on is, and these are questions you're going to ask on your database. How many do you currently have? How many do you want to, what is your goal for the next 3 months, quarter? What is your goal for 6 months? What is your goal for 12 months? Do I want to take 50 up to 75 to 100 to 125? What are those numbers? Again, they're your numbers, not mine. Once you have identified those categories or those pillars, here's how you're going to map them out and build them out. You decide on the target. You're going to start going for the bullseye. So you will ask, how will I identify them? I know them from church. I know them from scouts. I know them from this. I know them from that, whatever it is. Where will you get their information? Once you got their information, what is the message they will get? When will they get it? What is the method of delivery? Case in point, let's talk about your database. You want to do your newsletter the first week of every month, and it will be either mailed or emailed based off the information you have. Do you have their email address? Do you have their mailing address? Right? What is your call to action? What do you want them to do? Please do not say, call me now. That is probably the worst one that you can do. Because they're drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning and they're going to call. And they're going to go, but you said call me now. And you're going, yeah, but, all right. A better one is send them to a safe zone, your website, to go check out your blog, check out other listings, whatever it is, it's available on your website. That is why we've asked you to take time to work on your website. They know when they're ready that they can call you. You do not need to tell them to call you, because that is going to fall on dead ears and is a waste of marketing space. All right? We've already talked about how you're going to break that down, and then you're going to tackle each of the pages. Now, let me reference to my handout as well, which is the same as your handout. In your handouts, on page 8, 9, 10, and 11, you've got the target. I want you to start going for the bullseye. You're going to map down the who, what, when, where, why. You're going to go on to your second pillar, your third pillar, your fourth pillar. You're going to map them out. Now, how I recommend adding it to your calendar is you have 4 pillars, and isn't it a coinky-dink? There's 4 weeks in the month. Week 1 of the month, this is where you're going to stop and do it. Go into your calendar, 7 to 8 o'clock, whatever time, I don't care. Color code it the entire week. Brand it as database. That is telling you that first week of the month, you will focus on your database. You'll make sure your newsletter goes out. You will prep blogs. All right, we're already giving you 30. You just need to copy and paste. You're going to make sure that if there's birthday cards that need to go out, you have them prepped and ready. Where the stamp goes, you put the date that you want to mail it or the date of their birthday, event, or anniversary, and out it goes. If someone's got a house anniversary coming up or you want to add 2 CMAs a day, that's the week you're going to do it. You're going to focus on your database. Week 1 is done. Next week, week 2 of the month, back into the 7 to 8 o'clock, you're going to color code it all the way across a different color, and you're going to put first-time home buyers or whatever your second pillar is. Third week, the same thing. Fourth week, the same thing. Make sense? Okay. When you focus then on each of your 4 legs a different week of the month, you will maintain sanity. If not, don't blame me if you drink. Okay? It will drive you nuts if you think for 1 second you're going to be able to do it all overnight and get everything done. Break it down. Focus solely on your database right away. Can you get them organized? Can you get them sorted? Once that's done, move on to your second pillar. And once those are all done, then First week of the month, you're going to work on your database. Second week of the month, you work on whatever pillar number 2 is for you. Pillar number 3, pillar number 4. Got it? Got it. That is the best strategy and takeaway that I can give you. All right. There's some bonus stuff in your handout. We've got, obviously, our Samson Toolbox ready for you with all kinds of magical and wonderful support systems. My website, as you know by now, has some great and wonderful things. This is a great book. Again, I'm often asked what books are on my bookshelf. This is How to Become a Rainmaker. Your job is to be a rainmaker. That is where your business is going to come from. You need to learn to make it rain. Okay? When you have 4 pillars, you are most likely not going to drown. You will have one come from here, maybe one come from here, okay? We don't know where they're going to come from. But building out those systems and building them out consistently is where your payoff is going to come. All right? I've got success stories. We could stay till midnight, and I can share with you all the success stories from agents who have taken a particular topic and have run with it, but we ain't going to do that. So what I'm going to do is remind you this is where we talk in further detail to our Thursday classes. So join me there and be ready to build this out. This is not going to happen overnight, but when it does, you're going to be crying all the way to the bank. And yes, I will take the blame. Okay? All right. Be the Uncola. Think outside the box. If you can stay for another 30 seconds, I've got a couple of giveaways that will definitely be worth your while. Remember, I don't care what you know. I want to know what you're doing with what you know. All right. With that, drop the mic. You now have all kinds of goodies. You've just learned 19 more tips and techniques from Jumpstart Session 4. 28 come from 1. 20 more from Session 2. 16 from Session 3. 19 from this one. You now have 83 tips and ideas. Do not tell me you cannot succeed in this business. Give yourself a hand for being here. Remember, we got you, and congratulations on growing your business. Now, this ends our Jumpstart for Session 4 session. Please go back, study each one, get them into place. Ask for help where you need it, and we're going to make sure that you've got what you need to succeed, to whatever success means to you in this business. Okay? All righty then. There you go. Thank you.